Hey sexy beasts, how you all doing? It's Kirsty, or Double FTK, as usual, with another gameplay commentary, and I do have something pretty special to share with you guys today. And I'm sure it'll allow you guys to forgive me for posting 2 gameplays on this horrible map in a row. But this is the world's first quad support MOAB, and this was actually submitted to me by an awesome subscriber that you guys really need to go and check out. So his name's Alcal95, and he's a beast, let's just say that. He can drop quads, triples, doubles, all of it. But he's also a really quality commentator, and you can tell that he's really put a lot of effort into his channel, which is why I just want to help him get a little bit more recognition. And you know me, I actually started my channel a couple of months after the game was released, and it definitely makes it a lot more difficult to grow as a channel when you do actually do that. And that was the same case with Alcal, which is why I can sort of relate to that. But I really see that this kid's going to be going places come Black Ops 2. And honestly, he's got a really cute UK accent as well that you just can't go past. Although I'm sure some of you guys aren't going to feel the same way about that. But before I actually get on to today's topic, I just want to tell you guys that this is actually a winning gameplay. The end of the gameplay is not there just because it wasn't actually sent to me. Although I did confirm before actually posting it that it was in fact a winning gameplay, because I knew that you guys would hate it if I posted a quad MOAB where a team lost. But you guys know the way it goes in headquarters. If you're trying to extend the time, it's often smart to let the enemies cap those first few headquarters, just because you know that you can always catch up, and that's exactly what happens in this gameplay, especially when 4 or 5 MOABs are going off. Yes, I said 5, because I'm actually pretty sure a teammate calls in a MOAB as well. And I'm sort of not sure, but we'll get to that. Anyway guys, let's actually get on to today's topic, because I wanted to talk to you guys about high school. And why do I want to talk to you guys about high school? Mainly because I know a lot of you guys can relate to it, and a lot of you guys have just wanted to know a little bit more about my teenage years and what high school was like for me. So I figured, what the hell, let's do it. So I have explained to you guys in the past the way that the Australian school system works, but just for you guys that are new, I will just say it again briefly. We don't actually have middle school here in Australia, so you start high school here when you're in 7th grade, which makes you 12 going on 13, so around that sort of age group. And in my case, I went to a number of high schools, so I have a little bit of a unique high school experience, and just because some of those schools weren't actually proper high schools, they were more sort of programs for irritating, messed up teenagers, which was probably a category that I fitted into very well. But, you know the way all good stories start, we should go back to the start, correct? So I figured we'll talk about my first high school first, and that was pretty much what really formulated the entire way that I behaved at all my next high schools, I must admit. Something really horrible happened to me at my first high school, which really influenced a lot of the ways that I thought and felt about people. I was quite sad. I was actually quite depressed for a lot of years when I was a teenager, which is why I understand just how hard it is for you guys. Just between the hormones and the pressure, it's already pretty intense without having a pretty horrible experience happen to you. And I'm not going to get into that now. Maybe one day I will get into that, because it is quite a confronting conversation to really be having. But that really did formulate a lot of my beliefs, a lot of how I really treated people since. And another thing that happened at that school was I was bullied. When I went to my first high school, I was one of those kids that got bullied, and I think a lot of that was because I didn't really have the guts to stick up for myself properly. Sure, I'd make some sort of smart-ass comments back, but I never actually got in people's faces and let them know that I would be a problem for them to deal with if they continued bullying me. And I must say to you guys, I know teachers and parents and all that are always telling you to either ignore them or to tell a teacher or tell a parent. And at the end of the day, in reality, that often doesn't work. And that didn't work for me. Ignoring them did nothing but make it worse. But honestly, standing up for myself half-heartedly did nothing but make it worse either, if you know what I mean. But in this situation, with the horrible other event that happened to me, it was actually easier to leave that school. And like I said, I was quite depressed and sad. I didn't want to go to school. I, didn't want to really do anything. So I do understand a lot about sort of depression and suicide and self-harm and all of that sort of thing, just because of my own experience. And I know a lot of people would never see any of that when it comes to me, just because I really do seem to be pretty well adjusted, and that is true. But that is after many years, lots of hard work, and a lot of hard work on my part. And this is what I'm always saying to people when it comes to people trying to save other people and trying to make the world better for someone else, that it just doesn't work. At the end of the day, if someone is sad and someone's depressed, only they can actually make their experience better. And it actually takes quite a bit of work and thought. It's not the sort of thing that just happens, I must admit. Although, definitely having good friends around does make the situation a lot easier. And, alright, let's go back onto this high school story, hey? So I left that first school, and after that, I actually went into, it was a school, but it was sort of like a program. And I didn't fit in there either. It was predominantly for really naughty boys. And I was naughty, but I didn't feel the need to set fire to my school on a daily basis. So it was a really small school, and it was sort of operated out of like this old church from like the 1960s or something. And I shit you not, the kids I went to school with, there was only 30 of us. Yes, we had a school with 30 people. That was how full on a lot of these boys were. They used to set fire to the school nearly every day just to get the fire department out so we could all get sent home. So this was a pretty common experience at that school, and let's just say I didn't learn anything, and I was actually quite scared. Being around all these incredibly violent boys, it just really wasn't for me. And especially after my sort of original bad experience that led me to that situation, which I'll give you a little bit of an insight about, did involve a violent man, or boy, whatever you want to call him. And, it just wasn't the place for me. So after that, I was sort of shuffled off to another alternative school, which was a bit better than the last one, except for the fact that one of the students actually killed one of our teachers. Yeah, go figure. He actually stabbed one of the teachers at school and killed him. So it was just another school for naughty, messed up kids. And, yeah, I didn't really fit in there either. So let's just say after that, I actually ended up pretty much, I don't know, I sort of thought that, well, maybe school's not for me. But the way it works in Australia is once you get to a certain age, you actually get paid to stay in school. And I don't know, guys, but that was pretty tempting for me, and that was one of my main motivations for, at this point, actually agreeing to go to the girls' school that my mother had wanted to send me to for the last 4 years. So I'd pretty much given up. I was at that point of, look, I don't care. I'll give it a go. I want my money. And let's just say that it was the best experience of my life. I actually had an awesome time. You guys know me. I've got predominantly male friends, and I've always been like that. I've always been one of the boys. So it was a really different and unique experience to be in a place with all these bitchy girls. And I suppose it did give me a lot of insight. And my experience at a lot more rough schools pretty much put me in a position at this girls' school where I just ran everyone. Most people were scared of me, which is pretty cute considering I'm 5'2". But some of these girls were pretty sheltered. There was a really high percentage of people who were sort of of the Muslim faith, and when it comes to their girls and their daughters, they keep them pretty much under wraps. And I must admit, I was pretty messed up. I was pretty full on, honestly. I know you wouldn't really think this about me, but when I was a teenager, I did use quite a few drugs, got quite wasted. I was quite a bit of a nasty little thing. But that'll be a story for another commentary. I just wanted to give you guys just a little bit of a background, and just before we go into some more teenage years in future. Anyway, guys, definitely MOAB that like button, because there were a few sort of personal things in here that, I don't know, I was a little bit unsure of actually saying. And yeah, peace out.